people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network.
Oh, I think they're doing a great job. A lot of them are.
Good afternoon, Dwayne. How are you?
Not too bad, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today with Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. If you're ready to talk, we're willing to listen.
Well, I really enjoy this program today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
May God bless every person.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome on another terrific Thursday. It is a thoughtful Thursday. It's thankful. It's always a pleasure and a privilege to always be in a place where good is served. Well, join us. We'll start things off with Not for a Bit, 1 o'clock. We've got something special. Let's see if it materializes. So stay tuned for Talk Today.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today, the Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program. We ask our listeners to avoid statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use any indecent language or make any statement which is false or misleading. Email talktoday@candw.ky or call 1-800-534-8255. Courtesy of Flow,
Cayman's #1 network that connects you to your world like never before.
Let your voice be heard. Once again, here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
A very pleasant good afternoon. Hoping everybody is enjoying the rain. It's blessings from on high. It just washes away the sins. It waters the weeds. It even makes the hair frizzle. 949-837, 949-6990. Yes, I call. It's all good. Well, in the studio, sunglasses and hat. His braids all in shade. Mr. Notch, what's going on?
I don't have braids, my brother.
What are braids?
I know the difference between a Rasta man and a man with braids, man.
Okay,
Come
so
on now, man.
What are braids? Plaited hair?
Couldn't tell you,
All right,
I really couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
Braids is why I know that. Yeah, anyway. They're good though.
Like you said just now, most things?
Most things. Yeah. We give thanks for all, but most things are good,
Well, listen, one are good could be better.
Hopefully.
And one are, you just got to be gracious and grateful.
Yes, I am.
And as you look at life, you recognize that the men ever traverse that dark path, it's just the courage to press forward.
True.
It's just how it is, man.
Life.
You got to give thanks.
Continually.
Yeah, man. Well, you've been blessed with a voice, vocals that have allowed you to sing praises, to be reminded to many. We're all gifted. We just got to be willing to act with humility. Even, when we fan the flames of fire that may, refine even the strongest of gold. So, I know you've been involved with much, man, and I think John Mitch, as you've shared many times, have been an inspiration for a lot of people, not just his musical gifting, but the way he'll, string lyrics together to paint a picture. So it's good that you come together with others to help us recognize, reflect, but to be reminded that we are our brother's keeper. So tell me, what do you have in store, and what is continue driving you to be that source of support?
Mitch isn't well. No, he hasn't been well. He's a recovering cancer patient, and just recently he had a fall that resulted in him having an MRI, which showed that he had a tumor in his brain. So he was sent to hospital in Miami, Baptist, where they operated on the tumor and removed it successfully, thank God. And now it seems as though they have located cancer in different parts of his body. We're still waiting on the results of the biopsies of those and trying to stay positive, but as we say in Cayman, you have to pray for the best and prepare for the worst. So, in an effort to try to prepare, I put together a little fundraiser for him on the beach, Coral Beach, the former Coral Caymanian, one of the first hotels in the Cayman Islands, one of the first commercial beachfront establishments like Galleon Beach, which is now a beach club. We're gonna try and bring back a traditional Wednesday night entertainment offering, which is live music on the beach around some barbecue, which is what I came and found in the 80s, and I know it was there in the 70s and in the 60s, and as you know, we keep losing all of our traditions, so it's something that needs to hopefully be revived into the tourism product.
Let me ask two questions. I mean, relative to the music scene and those sort of live music and the venues. But one, what do you think we're losing that?
Well, I think we're losing.
Why do you think we're losing that? Sort of, as you said, reference. We keep losing more of our traditions and the live music on the beach.
Well, everybody that comes in tries to impose on us their culture. I mean, someone sent me pictures the other day of a new establishment in, I think it's the Grove on 7 Mile Beach, and it reminds me of a place that I visited in Europe. It's not Cayman, it's not Caribbean, but that seems to be what we are allowing. And if that's what I think the reason why we're allowing it is because we have a problem with our own identity. We don't want to accept who we are or who we are in the scheme of things, and what our role is in the bigger scheme of things. We tend to kind of be lost where that's concerned, as a people, as a country, as a nation. But going back to John Mitch, I don't want to get too much into their political BS, because it seems to me that all's for naught where that's concerned. But so Mitch isn't well, and we're trying to do a fundraiser for him. It's something that I've organized with a few musicians. I want to shout out and give a huge thank you to them. The ones who have confirmed and are staying the course. J.R. Douglas, Jughead and Johnny from Musical Crew, Sean and Shane from I Tide, Stuart Wilson just came on board. I'd like to thank him for that. DJ Martino, who's originally a Bracker, but been around here with us with his sister Paulette Conley and them for the longest while. So he's on the bill. DJ Archie, living in East End now, but shout out to Archie. Called me last night to tell me off why we could have something like this and not have him included. So that just goes to show the merit of the man, you know. Yeah. And DJ Mixmaster, can't forget him. So we have 3 DJs and 4 entertainment offerings currently. We'll juggle them from 4 p.m. till 11 p.m. and hopefully people will come out. It's free admission. We won't force anyone to donate or contribute, but we figure that while you're having a good time, some of the proceeds will be you donated to Jamich. I've gotten Coral Bay to extend their happy hour. It's usually from 4 to 6. So the net proceeds from the extended happy hour and from the extended operating hours, those bar proceeds would go towards Mitch.
Anyway, this is when it's going to happen?
Wednesday next week.
Next Wednesday, right?
Yeah. Some people ask me, why Wednesday? Wednesday can't do something on Wednesday. Got to be Friday. And I said, but Wednesday is traditionally the night for live music in Cayman. From the time I started playing music, I raised my lunch money to go to school singing on a Wednesday night at Galleon Beach. You know what I mean? So what do you mean, why Wednesday? Wednesday because it's always been Wednesday. Wednesday's always been the night for live music in Cayman. For those who don't know, for those who are just partaking and, well, you may have had a bit too much, that was just our way of getting over the middle of the week. We would party in the middle of the week and then hopefully the weekend would come a little sooner, you know, but generally it was our way of juggling and managing this corporate life that we've created for ourselves and having some semblance of a quality of life.
Yeah. I tell you what, Carl says we got a caller join us. Don't you hate says, man? Let's hear what the callers to share.
Yeah,
hey, good afternoon. Welcome. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, good afternoon. Thank you all for receiving my call.
Hey, thanks for calling.
Man. Congratulations to Mr. North, who is trying to do something to help one of our local Caymanians. You know what I mean? Because most people is not really trying to put together as Caymanians to help people in that situation of what this man is going through right now. So it's a job, Mitch, you know what I mean? And as a Caymanian, as DJ Archie, I really appreciate him to trying to put the effort to do a wonderful work. And I wonder if the Cayman Islands as Music Association would try to help these kind of events of what's going on taking place in Cayman Islands. Because people like who is sick as Caymanians should try to help Caymanians or people who are sick and need help. And I really glad to Ms. Notch for adding me to this program to put my effort to do what I can do to help raise funds for a need like this, you know what I mean? So I want congratulations for doing a wonderful job to try and organize this, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Thanks, Archie. I really appreciate that. That's Archie right there, actually. Yeah, I guess he's listening. Thanks for that support.
Yeah.
No, definitely, my brother. And my apologies again for not reaching out to you soon. It's just everything's been so, kind of hurricane-paced, Mitch getting sick and trying to put something together quickly before I leave and travel. And so I just wanted to make sure that, I had all the other I's dotted and T's crossed. But, definitely, I'm looking forward to knowing that you will be there because I know you know what the local people like.
Yeah, I'll be there from the first to the end, and I really, like I tell you, I hope the Cayman Islands Music Association will try to get involved to do something like this there towards it. I don't know if they can do anything, but we have a poor, very poor president at this time for knowing as the Cayman Islands Music Association. I don't want to get into that part, but the thing is, I'm very glad that you're doing something to help this man, okay, as our Caymanian. You're doing a great job.
Thanks, my brother.
Thanks for it, but we are a brother's keeper, right? And
that we are.
It's next Wednesday. You said 4 to 11, all right?
Next week Wednesday, Coral Beach. 7 Mile Road, West Bay Road, 7 Mile Beach, however you want to describe the location, that's where it's at. A lot of people be like, Coral Beach, where that is, like they don't know. Well, Coral Beach is next to where Royal Palms used to be. So you pull into Royal Palms entrance and you turn north, which would be right into Coral Beach. And you go around and there's another parking lot there and there's another establishment there. And they have a happy hour, 2 for 1 happy hour. So for every drink you buy, you come and bring someone, and then when you buy yourself a drink, they'll have a drink and you'll be able to drink responsibly, you know, and share the wealth, not be too gluttonous and go and swallow everything, you know what I mean? So, yeah, you come out, you have a drink, and you watch the sunset, enjoy, take a breather, you buy some barbecue. For every plate of barbecue that's served and sold, Jamich will receive $10. Obviously, the price of the barbecue is a little more expensive, but it's the barbecue that it's all about. The live music offerings, like I said, once again, will be High Tide, Stuart Wilson, J.R. Douglas Combo, who usually are playing at Pepper's nightclub on, I think it's a Saturday night that J.R. plays at Pepper's. It's always packed there, so obviously he's a popular local entertainment staple currently. And we're closing the night out with the Musical Crew. Many of you may remember them from being the band that Skanky used to be the lead singer for. Well, they're still performing. Jughead and Johnny Hernandez. Jughead Hernandez and Johnny Johnson. Not Johnny Hernandez. Johnny, my apologies, my brother.
I'll leave that to you, boy.
I got a lot on my mind, man. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Shoot. Yeah, so, but it's going to be good. You know, it'll be good. It'll be festive and it'll be nice. And hopefully the people will come out and support it. It's the people that make it, really, you know?
Yeah.
So if the people don't come out, then it doesn't matter how much barbecue there is on the beach. It doesn't matter how beautiful the sunset is if people aren't there to enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
We got another call on me. Could have been worse. You could have said Jughead and Johnny Hernandez. It is 2023. All right, let's take this call. Welcome, good afternoon.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, Sterling, and good afternoon to my best friend, Notch.
Oh, he's your best friend now. Oh,
yeah, he always was.
Wait till I call that person and tell them what you said publicly.
That's all right. I don't care who you call. Once you're not calling God, it's fine, because I'm the honest man that I own and control. Controls me.
How you doing, babe?
I'm all right. I'm calling just to say I'm not going to be here. I'm leaving tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm invited to the Conch Fest, and the president has sent to invite me to the Conch Fest in Banaka.
Oh, nice, nice. I haven't been to Honduras yet, you know. You got to carry me one of these times, man.
Yeah, I can carry one of these. I go next year, but this was a sudden invitation that just came in. They want my costumes there, because, you know, I'm the black pit hair, and no one sees me. But you know what I want to say, Notch? The artist people here in general, I mean all of us, we are treated the worst.
Yeah, we don't respect the arts in Cayman. You know that.
Yeah,
I mean,
we no respect until you go do something over there. I think they all should come out, every one of them, all politicians, because they can be, 2024, so come you hear them knocking.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's them.
Well, okay, you know what I want to say to everybody? If a politician this time when he's campaigning cannot campaign to say, we got to start arts in school, then I don't vote for him, because if a man can't love his country, history, tradition, music, culture, and whatever goes with that, he's no politician. I ain't voting this time unless they can tell me they need to do something more for the arts. And this is where I got to start from. And I'm just tired of it. You imagine it's only me when in Cayman do costume. In art, look how long we was asked it. Pay Reba to train the people.
I know.
No. So I can't. I go in back and get paid. Might be as much I would get here, but I get a little money.
Not only that, you'll be treated with respect.
Oh, hush. I mean, going first class.
Yeah.
But the government could never put me.
I know what it's like.
Mm-hmm.
I feel you.
Yeah. So if there's anything I can do when I come back, I will try help you. We could do a couple of fundraising.
Thank you, darling.
Yeah, okay?
All right, thanks for the call, yeah?
Okay, then. I still love you here.
Love you too.
Yeah, okay. Bye-bye, honey bun.
Bye, baby.
Oh, she's always at gym, you know. But that's the love, and I think it's part of the love for John Mitch, you know.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, hey man, it is what it is, you know. Yeah, Cayman is a strange town when it comes to showing appreciation, and I don't know.
Why is that, you think?
I don't know, I think we're too distracted. I think we're caught up in trying to make ends meet. We're too caught up in a lot of things that, yeah, we're just distracted, which is, I think it's a part of the strategy to keep us that way. It'll keep us divided. It'll keep us from the unity that is necessary for us to bring about the change that is necessary to benefit us. So what we do is, you know, whatever powers to be that are behind that, it's to keep us distracted and separate. Yeah.
How's the Valley can't stand, they say.
There you go.
All right.
But on the beach on Wednesday the 26th, hopefully we'll come out in some unity and we'll be able to do something good.
So next Wednesday, Coral Beach, the old Coral Caymanian, right? 4 to 11.
High Tide opens up the show. I'm currently doing the order for the run of show. So if there's any musicians out there that would like to take part, unfortunately, we're trying to keep this event just with the smaller combos because of the logistical reasons, you know, like there's less setup, less PA system needed to be involved, not as much. Just with, you know, no back line. These guys come with their own stuff they're accustomed to playing and setting up on the stage on their own. So it's easier this way. But we will be doing something in the future, God's willing. That'll be a bit more bigger and more elaborate. This is just an initial fundraiser. So any small combos out there that I haven't approached or solo acts who have been overlooked, please accept my apology. Nothing personal. Just come out and just reach out, and we'll find a space for you. You know. Doing the running show now, so High Tide will definitely open, and musical crew who people are accustomed to dancing to will be there to close it down. JR same way in the nighttime, so that there'll be dancing music, you know. Easy listening for sunset and dancing later on, you know.
Yeah, like you said, you know, you got a lot on your mind, so thanks for dropping in, reminding us.
Always, man.
All right, catch up with you.
For sure.
And then do a shout out again before Wednesday, all right?
That would be nice.
All right, we're going to pause. When we come back, we'll talk to you some more. Stay tuned.
It's a 24-karat summer with Digicel. In honor of our first truly COVID-free summer, Digicel is giving away $24,000. Be one of 10 to win $2,400 this July. For a chance to win, all you have to do is switch to Digicel, activate a Prime bundle, or simply pay your bill on time. It's that easy. It takes 2 minutes to get $2,400 richer. Make the choice to win today and visit a Digicel store near you.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. This summer, I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, and now Panama. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old gal this summer.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
CUC advisory. Customers are advised of a scheduled outage on Wednesday, July 26 between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. for Eastland Drive, Will Jackson Drive, and sections of John McClain Drive in East End. For more information, please contact CUC's customer service team at 949-5200 or email service@cuc.ky.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Talk today.
But I do have some questions.
Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back. Thanks for joining us. It's going to be an open line now as we invite you to be a part of a discussion. 949-8037, 949-8037, 949-6990, or toll free with the kind compliments of Flow at 1-800-534-8255. And then you can WhatsApp, you can call it, you can send a message, you can record a voice note. But if you want to call the WhatsApp number, we'll answer it as well. 925-3261. Hoping that Coach Rod will get a chance to drop in and share with us. Well, it was a good experience with him, over a few days, testing your metal and like. So we'll see whenever he has chance, we'll get a chance to talk more about that. Fitness is good, mental and, physical agility and dexterity is important. Keeping the mind and the body, actively and positively engaged. Does well for not only adding years to your life, but life to your years as well. Improving that quality of living, the independence that you can have, the mobility that you enjoy, that sense that you can still do, no matter how many years have passed. So we'll get there. The next Wednesday, in that effort of being your brother's keeper, Notch in the group, he mentioned Sheen and Sean from High Tide being a part of it, Johnny and Juggy coming up, Stuart Wilson, and it's a good way to maybe enjoy a midweek, but also be in a spot in a place if you like live music. So at Coral Beach next Wednesday. Alright, it is open line 949-8037, 949-6990. WhatsApp, call or message or voice note or whatever it is that you choose, 925-3261, and be a part of what's going to happen. It's a Thursday, can you believe it already? I enjoy each day and very thankful to be a part of it, and hopeful that it's not only positive and productive, but it's a day that as you reflect, as you're somewhat pensive, you're not just looking with bated breath and anticipating what's to come, nor are you tentative about your next course of action, but you're very positive and pressing forward. 949-8037, 949-6990, or 1-800-534-8255. Something that I wrote down earlier and I share with you. You tell me what you think of it. See how it, sort of relates to you, resonates with you, as it were. Where you have people who say to you, sometimes you get a thought and maybe you don't remember it. Maybe you need to have means, whether it's electronically or like some of us prefer pen and paper. Just jot down little things. I've done that over the decades. My only thing I wish I had was to have kept it all in one space, because sometimes you feel moved by something. Maybe it's a recollection of other things. Alright, as we take this break, when I come back, I'll share with you. But I want to hear from you specifically. So stay tuned for Talk Today.
How can you make a classic BLT sandwich even better? Well, by adding tuna. The land meets the sea in Subway's new sandwich, the Tuna BLT, available for a limited time. The Tuna BLT is exploding with flavor. Imagine crispy, juicy bacon strips on top of tuna, fresh lettuce, and slices of tomato, topped with your favorite sauce and choice of freshly baked bread. Enjoy the best of both worlds with the Tuna BLT from Subway. Subway, eat fresh.
All aboard the Pizza Boat! Cayman's newest pizzeria. Birthday parties, office luncheons, summer camps, game night. Whatever your occasion, bring the fun with Pizza Boat at Cayman Twist to Pizza. Bringing fusion ingredients from all over the globe to give you locally inspired fresh pizzas all day, every day. What's more, now you can enjoy a boat-shaped pizza with toppings of your choice. It's Pizza Boat. Pizza Boat, now open in Queens Court on West Bay Road. Pick up or delivery 949-0000 or order online www.pizzaboat.ky. Pizza Boat. Experience the ultimate pizza voyage. Homeowners, protecting your family and property is crucial during the season, and you should always assess insurance needs long before a storm makes landfall. Most insurers won't issue new policies or increases when a storm is imminent. Cayman Insurance Center's team of professionals can help owners like you find the most comprehensive coverage and competitive rates. Call the insurance professionals at Cayman Insurance Center 949-4657 or email info@cic.com.ky. Don't take chances with your family's future or your valuable assets. Call Cayman Insurance Center's insurance professionals today at 949-4657. It's a 24-karat summer with Digicel. In honor of our first truly COVID-free summer, Digicel is giving away $24,000. Be one of 10 to win $2,400 this July. For a chance to win, all you have to do is switch to Digicel, activate a Prime bundle, or simply pay your bill on time. It's that easy. It takes 2 minutes to get $2,400 richer. Make the choice to win today and visit a Digicel store near you.
Prodigal son. Grand Cayman, the original Gospel Fest is back. Michelle T and friends in association with JN Money Transfer present Jamaica's 61st Independence Gospel Fest. Saturday, August 5th at the Lion Center. Featuring Prodigal Son, Michelle T, Da Flame, Claudel Clark, Ryan Davis, Laverne Welcome, and Rashada Henry. $30 prepaid, $35 at the gate. Ticket outlet, JN Money Transfer, Funky Tanks, Macross Groceries, all locations. Gate open at 5 p.m. Showtime 6 p.m. Come, let's have a time of thanksgiving and praise.
Talk to Dick.
But I do have some questions.
Talk to Dick.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk to Dick.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome. Thank you for joining us. It's open line 949-8037, 949-6990. Toll free with the kind compliments of Flo at 1-800-534-8255, or you can WhatsApp 925-32621. You can call the WhatsApp number 925-32621 if you so choose, or you can send a voice note. You can, if you want, type something up and we'll read it for you if that is your intent. I don't know how you were feeling today, whether the heat or all the talk about the heat is just getting to you, or whether it's the rain that making you feel, a bit lethargic. Perhaps it's putting you in an amorous, sort of frame of mind. Maybe it's just something that you're looking at and say, boy, I remember the good old days when I could sit on the back porch and hear the torrential downpour as it pounded, the zinc roof. Man, it brings back great memories. Or you might be glad that no longer are the roads washed away. You can't get from where you wanted, or you don't have to, walk from school and have your shoes tied in together with the shoelaces slung over your shoulders so that you'll be able to get back the next day. Hey, let's go to the phones. Welcome, good afternoon. Thank you for calling.
What's you doing?
Man, good to hear from you. How are you?
Oh, boy, right, you're feeling the heat, boy.
Yeah, I can imagine, man. It's interesting, huh?
Yeah, man, it's like, Getting harder and harder every day.
Yeah. I was talking to someone earlier, and they were saying, sometimes you just wish you could record a person's comments in a moment. And it wasn't that it was funny how it was said. It was just amazing. The person shared that, we have governments globally issuing heat warnings. He said, are we that stupid now that we need the government to tell us it's hot outside? Can't you feel it yourself? But he said it a little bit better, and it wasn't intended to be inflammatory, but it elicited a chuckle from a few,
Yeah, I can get it. Yeah. Alright.
Yeah, man.
But no, I was just listening to see how they talking about they spending the money.
Wasting the money, you said? Sorry?
And spending the money
okay.
on the crime and things like that.
Okay.
So they spend over $200 million on crime, And what you watching the show yesterday, where you say like false flags and things like that, just before the election and all that. All that sound like Jamaican, not meaning things like that, but Gestapo kind of way. You understand? Kind of forcing people to think of it when it's really just a benefit for them. Keeping people in fear. You understand? Men really they're not solving nothing at all. Like for real, that woman that come here and then they talk about them big cruise ships. You know how much on them big cruise ships they're allowed to smoke weed and all that. You think say they gonna want to come here somewhere that they might get arrested or anything? That in the woman by the airport, for real, you search the woman, the celebrity, thing for a piece of grass. I understand. Don't worry, I understand that it's illegal. I understand that, but you didn't catch on that. What you were mentioning is a two-tier justice system in this place. That you can't solve. You can't solve none of that. Or the thing is that you like that. Not you, but the government. They like it like that. They wish for it to stay like that. I can't take it, man. I just can't. In a way, I kind of wish I was somewhere else, but then again, I wish something else could be changed. You know what I mean? You spend all that money on that, you still can't solve nothing. You got leave, one, or you got retire, one. Put up your jacket and hang it up, man. For real. You can't solve none of that. You got us even in more poverty and more can't get no jobs and all that. You see the world changing and you don't want to change with the world.
As I listen to you, looking at a message exchange with someone and trying to interpret it in a way that it isn't intended to, incite people, but may cause them to look at it with more insight. And the gist of it is basically, our things in Cayman, sometimes from the policing operations to the prison incarcerations to the judicial dispensations, are they done based on class, creed, ethnicity, color, or the like? And this person has said, if you remember, the water sports activity where the other young American girl, was heavily sanctioned during the national lockdowns. Then this other girl of the same, persuasion seemed to be suffering a similar fate. How many other people, may have been overlooked? I'm just wondering,
Yeah, man, but it looked like they love that, man. That's why I'm saying it. They got the power to change it, and it just look like they sit down and chuckle. I hear them talking about the crime, and you can hear them like casually laughing about it. We only had 3 robberies in 4 or 5 minutes, but attempted armed robberies. They were laughing and chuckling about it. You want to vote for them, and then let me ask you something. When it come time to vote, right? It's like I have to choose somebody, not you.
Yeah.
And if I don't choose somebody or a computer or whatever, the numbers or whatever, takes my vote and vote for the nearest person or whoever. Like that. Not true. That's how that goes, right?
Yeah.
Or how it goes. If I don't vote, who votes for me? Because it can't be that somebody around me voting for 15 people. It can't be like that. Because I don't see nobody I can vote for. For real. I really don't. What do you do when you don't see nobody to vote for? What do you do?
Well, the question is, though, if you don't vote, are you indirectly voting? You know, is it that, let's say there are two candidates, right? A and B. And you don't care for either one. Their principles, their policies, their personalities, whichever it is, right? But, you know, you stay away. You don't go to the polls. You don't deliberately mark the ballot to show your protest. And, you know, one wins by narrower margins. To what extent have you contributed to that person, over the other one?
I would like to know. I would like to know because there's no way that you can still count me in
Yeah.
I believe they should, send the person from England, the person that they send down when they don't have a direct winner. But taking my vote and voting for me, I believe that's something, against my rights again, because I got a right to protest in any way possible, not true?
Yep.
In any form possible. And then one last thing, they were talking about the gangs. Listen, I got about 75 meal, because if all of us was to have a barbecue together, you would call that a gang?
Well, the interesting part is how we are mindful to define things, right? Would a political party at a political rally as an assembled body of people with assigned colors championing a unified song and narrative, could that be a gang as well?
Yeah, this is what I want to know. It 19 of them gerrymandering and going on with all kind of tactics.
Mm-hmm.
Is they not a gang? They got a leader and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if, the one I'm saying, that 75 just male cousins. You imagine now all the female and all the little cousins I got.
Mm-hmm.
All of us was to get together every Sunday or something like that. They would arrest everybody, or they would think that's suspicious. Listen. If they smell anything on you, if you just round anybody, come on, man. Where these people going, I don't know.
Yeah.
I wish somebody would what you say, have the courage, because if you hear who it is calling really about these kind of things, much people, everybody just sit down and keep back.
Let me read for us what one of our listeners said. Says, when there is no preference, and this is when it comes to voting, when it comes to voting, you choose the lesser of the two evils. What do you think about that?
But you don't understand, I still don't want to choose anybody that is evil. I don't want nobody if it's lesser or not. Well, you can't be supreme plus sign. Well, you can't be that.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be the negative. So that means tone is negative. That means the whole part of the system, the whole system is a negative system. I can't. That keep choosing in between a cockroach and a centipede.
Yeah. No. Here's another comment. Or you could run for election to make a point. What about that?
You imagine if I was to run for election. You can imagine that. Just imagine that.
Yeah, man.
I would be up there in a short pants and slippers. I wouldn't be up near about no.
So, but why not?
$400 suit and all that.
Yeah, why not? Not just you, but others. So you get access. You have political meetings. You leverage the media outlets. You champion a particular, viewpoint. Maybe there is one or two. There may be three things that may be of interest. Why not?
I know I can solve it all with just saying, free the herb and I give everybody a job. You work 3 days a week. Stop driving so much gas. You can live off of anything. You can almost power the house with the gas. You can almost build a house out of the gas. But they goes on and they try to play it like this is heroin or this is something. You can't even give us the right to make our own toilet paper and all that. When you hear the kind of stupidness these people is, man. Is down in the prehistoric times, where they hunting down in the bush and like that. I know I like the bush. I do that. But listen, I know where the limits is in between the bush and the city. I understand that. But it's like these people, they want to be in the city and keep everybody in the bush.
It seems like,
and they laugh at you because you got nothing else but the bush to go to.
Yeah. I mean, this is where a couple of things come to mind, right? As this listener is sharing us, of the two evils, if you choose the lesser, one of them will make the decisions or at least be a part of it, right? And as you watch what's unfolding globally, there seems to be this elitist mindset that is not just creeping in, right, and taking root from this commentary. And for me, it's of interest to just read multiple viewpoints, even the translations of national publications in a language that I'm not, that adept at speaking, right? We have technology, perhaps the translation is accurate, but we have many people here who speak the language so they can tell you whether it is or not. And in saying that, you look at some of the things that are unfolding. Maybe there are people, because of their perspective, who they are, the wealth that they possess, the positions that they occupy. They may say, meat and certain foods should only be reserved for, us, not them. Perhaps we should be the only ones that can have the ability to fly in, not just in luxury, but not just in private jets, but fly at all, go from one place to the next without being sanctioned. But the rest of you got to be sort of limited to, this little particular swath of land, no more than 5 minutes or 5 hours beyond your doorstep, by foot. If you sit down,
Well, you really think, say, I don't really get into, the class thing, but, it's really that exactly what's going on. It's a system of, I can control you without you knowing. When they took out the healthcare for the kids, think about this. Think about how they got people to vote against free healthcare for their own kids. Think about that. I don't even know if they voted for that, but I know, say, probably somebody just came up there and say, look, I'm not paying for no more kids.
But
you got money for all kind of stuff.
It's interesting that it seems that it only applies to some, in particular the Caymanian and not to others. We have the news break. You want to continue talking, or you want us to link us another time?
It's up to you. I out in the heat. I'm doing some farming right now. So.
Always like to hear from you, man. If you got time, hang on and we'll chat with you after, right? You want us to call you back, or you good?
I'll be on it. I'll be.
All right. And then after that, we got another caller. So we'll join you right back, and then you can wrap it up, right?
Cool.
Yeah, cool.
Continuing the Caymanian tradition.
Let Korab keep my ground so clean.
The heart and soul of the Cayman people. Thank you for keeping the culture alive.
There's wisdom news every day. From East End to Georgetown, down into West Bay.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice. Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom. Today's biggest news.
The headline news is brought to you by Health Services Authority.
Tricia Bodden, an archivist with the Cayman Islands National Archive, receives the Chief Officer's Choice Award in the Deputy Governor's Award program. Mrs. Bodden received the CO's Choice for March, nominated by her head of department, Cherise Morrison, for delivering an outstanding customer experience while showcasing Cayman's historical collections. Mrs. Bodden recently put together 2 key exhibitions for the House of Parliament, one celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Parliament building, and the other for Her late Majesty Queen Elizabeth II's Platinum Jubilee. In international headlines, sales of previously occupied U.S. homes fell in June to the slowest pace since January, as a near-historic low number of homes for sale and rising mortgage rates kept many would-be homebuyers on the sidelines. The national median sales price fell on an annual basis for the 5th month in a row, though fierce competition led to about a third of homes selling for more than just their list price. Existing home sales fell 3.3% last month from May to a seasonally adjusted annual rate of $4.16 million. That, according to the National Association of Realtors. It's slightly below what economists were expecting, according to FactSet, and marks the slowest sales pace since January. Sales sank 18.9% compared with June last year. All told, sales are down 23% through the first half of this year. Also out of the U.S., the Senate Judiciary Committee is considering a congressionally imposed ethics code for the Supreme Court, an attempt to respond to recent revelations about justices' interactions with wealthy donors and others. Republicans are strongly opposed, arguing the ethics bill could destroy the High Court. The legislation, which the panel's been debating ahead of an expected vote, would set ethics rules for the court and a process to enforce them, including new standards of transparency around recusals, gifts, and potential conflicts of interest. Those are your headlines. I'm April Cummings.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice. Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom. Today's biggest news.
The headline news is brought to you by Health Services Authority.
The Health Services Authority has over 120 world-class physicians offering the most comprehensive range of specialist services on island. Our dedicated team of professionals provide the highest quality care in orthopedics, interventional radiology, women's health, geriatrics, and a host of other specialist areas. We are a JCI accredited organization with a proven record of excellence. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you. For more information, visit hsa.ky.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands. Hinton Roxroy Connolly was born in Creek, Cayman Brac on the 9th of September 1937. The second of 8 children born to Henry Kitchener Connolly and Olive Connolly, fondly known as Big H to his family and friends. Like so many other Caymanian boys and men, young Hinton went to sea at the tender age of 17, working with national bulk carriers for 5 years. During his tenure at sea, Hinton sailed on many different ships, namely the Ulysses, Old Titan, St. Clair, Petrolor, Petra Sea, and Petra King. He sailed between Portland, Maine to Venezuela. Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Talk today.
But I do have some questions.
Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us as we continue the dialogue with the caller and the other one that was online. Use the WhatsApp number. You can call it if you're in the, in the zone. Hey, welcome back, man. Thanks for holding on. Nope, they're all gone. All right.
Yeah, Mr. Sterling.
Hey.
Oh, I thought it was my brother over there in the farm.
Me too.
Hey, I give him props, bro. I mean, the thing is about it, right? We have to work as a community in the Cayman Islands, and I don't know if anybody understands that, but when they want something, they all try to join up in hands together and do their thing. And, we're not encouraging the diversity to really come out and start, supporting what really needs to be talked about. marijuana is a thing that has been on the island as long as I know. And you probably know more about it than I do. I would like to know what you think about it as well. But what I got to say, right, is if we know and acknowledge the presence of marijuana in our community, in our society, worldwide, and we see world celebrities that coming around all over the world in their private jets. I mean, they're coming from Jamaica, from Asia, from England, from Europe, United States, you name it. They are coming in with the same motive that they're going to continue doing what they love to do. If we have people in our community, like, it's no secret. It's no secret. I don't know what is it hiding about. It might affect some people's jobs because the how would you say this now? The stigma that we have in the community that it is illegal. It's a bad thing. It's not even about the smell of it anymore, because a lot of people accept that smelling is way better than cigarettes. I can guarantee you that. And I don't like when I have a person in the front of me that is drunk as a skunk talking in my face and I can just smell the alcohol bleeding through their teeth. I have a bone to pick with how our government is dealing with the situation. Now, they want to decriminalize, or they're not mentioning it anymore because they're not able to discuss it. A lot of people in the government do not smoke weed, but there are a lot of people that do smoke weed as well. Now, the form that they're smoking weed or using weed might be different from others. If I roll a spliff today and smoke with a person that has a vape that smokes marijuana as well with the vape, it's the same exact thing. We both share the same thing. We're using a medicinal marijuana. Now, when it comes into the medicinal use of marijuana, the use of marijuana, they have, if you can name me, Mr. Sterling, I mean, you might probably know more than me, like I say, if you can name me one person that has solely been charged with consumption of marijuana that is in prison up to today, just only marijuana use alone.
Just only marijuana use alone?
Yeah, just only marijuana use alone.
On the face of it, I don't have those particulars, but if we're looking at certain behaviors of society and questioning how we go about addressing them, whether we're trying to encourage a behavior or we're trying to discourage it. Maybe there are some recognizing that the misuse of drugs law in 1986, when the request for a urine specimen was in the books, that's refused, automatically seemed to have led to a conviction and imprisonment. Maybe we didn't appreciate the impact it would have decades later. Maybe we did, and we were consciously, as some have alleged, and if he doesn't mind, as much as we probably have discredited his commentary, Dr. Frank McFeel has shared relative to the implications of how our society has increasingly and continually failed its own people. So I think it's high time that we look at what we're trying to do, but not not cover it up with a band-aid, not stick our heads in the sand and ignore the negatives that are obvious. Not just the ill effects, not just the perhaps as the scripture talk about, calling good bad and bad good. It's interesting how this community and of all of the groups of people that I get to chat with, the two that I try the hardest to make sure that I am as attentive as possible are elderly and our youth. And sometimes, the stark difference is that the elderly, whether they're 60, 70, 80, 90, they still have a sense of positive and optimistic outlook. But some are young, and I will question if it's what we've done to them and what we're doing to society, are looking with great despair and hopelessness they're seeing an unfairness and injustice, and they're beginning to question, are there things that, we as their parents or as their grandparents tried to instill or, entrench in our own lives, the honesty, the integrity, the ethics, the humility. Those are things that just, for a fable as opposed to a mantra that we should hold dear. And woe be unto us, man, as Billy Joel says in one of his songs, what if we are the reason for their unanswered prayers,
Yeah, I was analyzing the whole situation because it's news to me that this girl, few days ago, got arrested for possession of marijuana. I would say in utensils or 15.7 grams of marijuana, right? If she has been fined $1,000 each of the people, that is a demonstration right there of decriminalization of marijuana. Now, is that what we want as a society in the community of the marijuana smokers? I'm not pushing that we should all use marijuana. I'm advocating for the legalization of marijuana for job opportunities, mainly because people like me that smoke ganja every day, and it clears my mind.
Hello, you there? Hello? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thought we lost. We do have another call after you, but I thought we lost you for a second.
No. Well, what I was explaining is like when you detox and you've been introduced something that is not reacting with your body. So let's just say, for example, opioids, medication that really addictive. You become very reliant on these things. Now they can put a prescription on any of your symptoms, and then you have like a list of medication that you have to take, and then sooner or later you're going to end up having to have a prescription cabinet that has all your pills lined up, the days of the week that you need to take them, in the hours of the day. Sooner or later you're going to be just doing this on a regular basis. They say medication is not supposed to be taken for a lifetime, but then you end up taking it for the rest of your life. So when you can just say, and it's facts proven about this. You have people talking bad about it, like, oh, you can't go a day without your high blood pressure tablets, and then you talking about marijuana users can go 5 or 6 days without it. I beg to differ. When you have to think clearly and your mind is wandering and you don't know what to think of, and when you end up sitting down in the corner of your room or in the bushes or at your job site, let's just say you're inside your car listening to the radio for today, and you just take a nice little puff and relax your mind, you refresh your mind, you end up starting to focus on what you need to listen to and not what you're listening to. Because sometimes people are listening to stupid rules.
Well, let me ask, right? Because I wondered again to what extent we as the society, right, is not, as you said, not just listening to things, but the things we should listen to. Are we attentive with what's happening? Are we engaged, involved, and informed? And is it that we, the collective we, are actively engaged? Let's look at a lot of the things. The policing apparatus through his membership were recently, in the studio. We talked briefly about traffic, and there were some questions about the use of these electric vehicles on the roads. They're not licensed, they're not insured, presumably they're not required to. Some have raised concerns relative to the safety for the people riding them, but also others, from cyclists to pedestrians to motorists, right? On a number of occasions over the last few years, a few people have called publicly and privately. A week prior to that fatality, an individual called and said he's fearful. This could happen. Now, it is one thing to suggest that it's a convenient, efficient, effective way that potentially could reduce traffic congestion, potentially could, be somewhat environmentally sensitive, and there are those who question that, but nonetheless. But what about the safety of the people? And it would appear that, if you have a car, you need to have a proper license to drive that car. That car needs to be insured appropriately. It needs to itself to be roadworthy and licensed and inspected. These little things can scoot about the place, but none of those, and they are not just used freely. And it's a business. Someone is hopefully a profitable business, right? Now, the last administration that put that into play, should they be sanctioned for that? Should they be commended for being visionary? I mean, look at news reports in France recently. There was some sort of vote, irrespective of whether it was considered to be a sufficient number that turned out. And in the streets of Paris, they're going to ban them in short order. Similar concerns that were expressed there were expressed there. In the city of Portland, Oregon, on the West Coast, I would think, 2+ decades ago, they had these yellow bikes. They were free to use. You got on your bicycle, you rode them, point A to point B, you put it down. Nobody stole them, nobody damaged them. Now, I think that has since discontinued. But, what about an endeavor like that, funded and supported by a service club, perhaps sponsored in part by the tourism sector, maybe even, supported by government, and you grab your bike and you could ride from the glass house into town or 7 Mile Beach. You dropped it off. Now, would we have a case where in short order they'll be stolen and put on a boat and taken somewhere? I mean, who knows?
That's a funny way.
Yeah.
Mr. Sterling, when I was looking at this thing with the electric scooters on our roads, and I was thinking about the same thing where you were saying maybe they should be licensed and maybe they should have insurance as well. Now, if a person get licked off of those scooters, who is it to blame? I remember just a few days ago, I was traveling on West Bay Road, crossing Queensport Plaza, and I didn't pass. I couldn't pass those things. If I see something and if I see a person in distress, I have to help. When I saw this person on the ground sitting down, like he was sitting down, and I noticed a bike in the front of him, I thought that it was not real. And then I looked at a lady in the front of him on the phone, and he's on the ground on the road, just like bare hot sun. I can just imagine his agony. He's a big guy. He just got licked off of this bicycle. When I asked the woman, I said, "Mom," I said, "did you call the police? Did you call the ambulance or anything?" No, I'm sorry, sir. It's a Filipino woman, She said, no, sir. I'm on the phone with my boss. And I was like, I was startled. And I'm baffled when I see the response of paranoia of people when certain situations happen. And I was thinking to myself, with that being said, the learner's license, when you get your learner's license in your for your vehicle, when you go to get your full driver's license as a first-time applicant, you're issued a learner's license for, I don't know how much years it is, how much months, or if it's even a year anymore. But you had a time that you could learn, and I believe it's not learning how to drive, learning the road codes, learning the island, and then you go for your driver's test. But a lot of people believe that they can just go and get a licensed driver instructor to do it, and then they just get a little extra, credit where they can just go and apply for their full driver's license immediately after.
Yeah, man.
I still do believe that it is good that way, but for locals, because the locals know where they're going. A lot of foreigners, when they come on the island and they get their learner's license, they already know how to drive, so it's almost like a piece of cake to get their driver's license when they come here in the Cayman Islands.
Well, interesting.
Licenses should be that we learn our roads from east to west.
Yeah. I mean, I don't necessarily know that many who come here from afar, not just, but including North America, don't always know how to drive. They don't have use of cars there. Before we take this next caller, I just want to share with you what one of our listeners wrote. It says, good afternoon, Mr. Ebanks. Yes, many Caymanians have been imprisoned for only ganja, especially West Bears, and were beaten up by the RCIP. Many of our minors were sent to Jamaica, even a Jamaican penitentiary, for years, and these are the facts. Thank you.
That's good to hear.
So that's from.
And I talk about this abuse of authority with the tyranny and the tyrants that we have on this island. I don't want to specifically name any names because when I'm involved in something like that, names are the last thing I want to know. If you understand what I mean. I mean, it should be that I take names as a responsible reaction, but I'm more of a defend myself type of person, so I won't just go and cry to someone about the problems. I'll face it myself. I'll defend myself. I can't afford a lawyer all the time, but when I know I'm right, I'm right.
Yeah, man. Well, listen, I appreciate you sharing your thoughts, right? Let us take the other caller.
Yes, sir.
All right, talk to you soon, man. Hey, good afternoon. Welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Sterling. How are you?
Excellent. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. Thankful.
God, thank God, yes.
And I've been fully in your conversation today. But I just got a few minutes of in regards to ganja. What were you saying about, what were you all talking about in regards to ganja?
As I listened to the caller, the caller gave a perspective that, looking at it, maybe as he is advocating for legalizing, not just decriminalizing, and that recent case with the young individual,
Yeah. Well, to each his own, Sterling, and following the rest of the world, doing everything that the rest of the world is doing, and it seems like if we don't get in that same arena, we encountered people in an island. But I just want to say to anybody out there who is so anxious to have this ganja, marijuana, whatever it may be, whatever it is, legalizing Cayman, they got to think of other people who are not involved in this thing, what effect it has on them. Because Sterling, when I can go in my yard to work and I can't breathe because there's someone in my neighborhood, right, perhaps next door to me, or how far away they may be, because that scent travels. And I can't breathe in my own yard. That I sweat all of my life for, 25 years of sweat to the bank, and I must come in my yard to work, and someone next door is smothering me with ganja. Smoke? I don't think so. You go to the beach and you got the same problem. Like I told you just a couple of days ago, I was at the Smith Cove. I had a friend down visiting. He had to come out the water because someone was in the water smoking the reefer. And then where I was standing waiting, I hardly go in the water that day. This guy's up there smoking it as well too. So whoever's doing it now has no respect for other people. And you can just imagine if they legalize it in the Cayman Island, what we will become, a big smokehouse. And people got respiratory problem, including myself. So I guess someone will call and say, well, marijuana is good for that. So I don't want to hear that. Keep that to yourself. But I just want to say, Sterling, I was in town for a few hours, and when CUC showed us all up to the wolves to pay our bills at various locations, and when you go to these places, they no longer carrying CUC business there for CUC. I don't know if we are black collar, brown collar, purple collar, or what color we are in this island, except for those that got a white collar that can go and do online and send in a check. I ain't into them things. I use cash. I have no cards, and I have no checkbook. When COVID was on, my son paid my bills to his account online. When everything went back to say normal, I, drive around and say, Ma, let's continue doing it this way. I said, no, son, I won't go in these places. I want to get my receipts in my hand, and so forth and so forth. You understand? So I just wanted to say that, CUC trust up to the rules. And you don't even know who is doing CUC bills anymore. They had posters up here and there, and now they're like they're not even visible or noticeable, or you don't know who's taken from who's not taken. With all the technology that we have, CUC could treat, I gotta say it like this, we black people a whole lot better than treating us. And whatever the nationality is here with us. Because I know a lot of white folks will be doing theirs online and check whatever. That's their business. But people come and find us here. You understand? So I just want to say this afternoon, she should be shaming herself to have us running around like a bunch of idiots on this island trying to pay a light bill when we could go to the office to pay a light bill Sound Road. I think they got one down on 7 Mile Road. But the fact of the matter is, Sound Road was so convenient for so many people, and it took that away from us, you know? So it hurts to the core that the way we've been treated in this island. Ganja became mine. Sterling, you know, I want to ask the question. It's not legalized in Cayman. How the ganja getting on the island? Where is it coming from? How are they getting it? How is it so available for certain people? You think you could answer that question?
Well, maybe another question is, if and when we either legalize or decriminalize, how will we arrange for it to come to our shores? You know? And if
it's just like Florida just passed a law, you can have a gun now without a license, but then again, you can't go, you can't take it on a plane, and you can't take it here, you can't take it there, but yet people in Florida is getting killed innocently with a licensed gun and an unlicensed gun. So when we become, when the ganja become legal in Cayman, I mean, what's going to happen? What's going to happen then? And they're not going to abide by no rules and regulations. Place is too small, and everybody doing their own thing, and we don't. As far as I'm concerned, we don't have no laws. Because the laws are sitting on the desks, in the books, in the offices, and catching dust, and they want to bring them out and tell us what is right and what's wrong. And all this crazy driving on our streets, people that's waltzing in and out of you, and then make the next left turn or the next right turn. Can you just imagine? And then it look at you like you're crazy, like touch me. Darling, out here is not a pretty picture.
Well, sometimes I tell you the truth, it's not because of the reflection, but it's also, the unwillingness of people to call it for what it is, So,
yeah,
evil prevails when good men do nothing, they say.
Yes, Sterling, going down to Borden's Pizza Hut Road. What's that road called? I don't know, that's Borden's Pizza.
Yeah, Bottom Road.
Bottom and you? Is that Bottom and you going to Borden's Pizza? No, man. Is that Bottom and you?
Not Bada. You mean the one that will take you from, let's say you came from the four-way, you pass the police station, you keep a little further, you pass Mr. Gaston's, you go past the bakery outside.
Right. Yeah,
past Church of Christ. Yeah, when you get to that intersection there by Villa Farrington, it's Bottom and New. You take you straight up into the sound. If you keep going, follow the road, you run right into the launching ramp.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Well, we did that.
Yep.
And I can't believe the buildings that is going down there, the apartments by the galores.
Yep.
Apartments by the galores. And when you see the rest of what's happening in the West Bay is unbelievable. Where are the people coming from? And how are the locals going to buy or rent from these places?
Well, as
I think we better...
Yeah, so I know we had to break in 2 calls, but as one wonderful lady called just the other day to remind us of a planning application that seems to be sufficiently changed that should warrant a new application. They're going to build something there that would not only flood the surrounding homes as she alleges, but it's an area that has flooded, and I think it was DOE staff at one point would refer to that as seasonal wetlands. So we would see migratory birds landing there, but hey, it would appear, if you come with an accent and a particular tinge to your skin, you might be able to fool many. And
well, we're going to soak in some milk overnight and see what it do for us, for some Jaffers in our hair.
We could borrow Mr. Oz's code.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right, thanks, huh?
Sterling, you take care.
All right, you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye. To our callers respectfully, just hang on, please. Let's take this break.
They say variety is the spice of life, and that's why at Subway we're introducing the new boneless hot sub.
Say what?
The premium sub brings new ingredients like spicy breaded boneless chicken, French's crispy fried onions, and buffalo wing sauce, bringing a zesty and flavorful experience with every bite. Add some of your favorite veggies, cheese, and ranch sauce of your choice of freshly baked bread for the ultimate boneless hot sub. For a little spice in your life, try the new boneless hot sub from Subway.
So good and tasty.
And make it a meal with a drink and chips or cookies. Subway. Eat fresh.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. This summer, I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, and now Panama. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old gal this summer.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Yo, big up Massive. Summer is here and Digicel got the vibes flowing straight to Jamaica. That's right, me people. Digicel has a sizzling offer for you. Top up for your loved ones in a Jamaica and you get a chance to win the ultimate trip to the land of sun, sea and good vibes. To enter for the free trip to Jamaica, just send top up to your loved ones back home with Digicel and you automatically qualify. Remember, the more top up you send, the higher the chance you win. So make sure you don't miss out on the fun. Me people, get the summer vibes flowing with a top up for your loved ones with Digicel and get ready for a trip of a lifetime.
Explore your history. Explore your land. Explore your sister islands. The ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom. The land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your sister islands.
Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Are you tired of waiting in long lines at the pharmacy just to fill a prescription?
If what, child, let me tell you.
Well, now you can save time and money with ValueMed's online prescription service. Visit ValueMed's new website, valrx.com, and click the Refill Subscriptions button. Fill in your information and choose your preferred pickup location. Or email your prescription refills for ValueMed Walkers Road at rx-wr@valrx.com, and for ValueMed in Boddentown, email rx-bt at valrx.com. Say goodbye to the hassle of waiting in lines and hello to the convenience of online prescriptions with ValueMed Pharmacy. Visit valrx.com to place your orders today.
Talk today.
But I do have some questions.
Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back, and thank you for joining us and staying online and supporting our advertisers. Hey, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, Mr. Dwayne.
Hey, welcome back, man.
Yeah, well, I had to call right, man.
Yeah, man.
Big up to the youth then that keep calling same time because, you know, it's hard to talk about something you can see that is meanly misunderstood.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And to the last caller there, I just have to give a big ha-ha because if it's just a smell you worried about, I mean, come on now. You don't see people getting arrested. You don't see people hitting the light pole because they're drunk. You don't see people raping each other and going on bad because they're drunk or getting cancer because of, you know, cigarettes or, you don't see that. You just think about we gonna walk around here and smoke ganja all as they want. What's wrong with that? I mean, your eye that big that you can't stand me smoking a split? Oh, tell me, Mr. Dwayne.
Mm-hmm.
What I would be doing? How I would harm you if I smoking a split next to you? Tell me. Even if the smell bothering you, you know you can walk away, right?
Like the fellow said too, I mean, it's the smell of, someone who's had a lot to drink. You can almost, smell it come out of their skin almost. He said, through their teeth as well. But it's consideration, I think, at the end of the day, right? There's also civility and sensibility.
I mean, I don't believe they have any sense. I told you, say toilet paper. Say this thing can also make, like them re-washable Pampers and all that. You know how expensive Pampers is?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, all these kind of things we can do with this. The sales that brought them here were made out of this thing. So, the Bible, like I gotta repeat, the Bible is made out of the same thing.
There are, as you shared with us, many uses, and perhaps there needs to be much more of a considered approach to it and not just a casualness that seemingly, from what I heard, someone who would be considered to be very prominent recently just share that maybe we're just trying to pacify some so that they can enjoy their, pastime without fear of prosecution,
Yeah, if you sit down and you drink 4, 5, 6 pack, then go run get pack cigarettes. And before you get the cigarettes, you hit a light pole. I sit down there and watch you do that. Right? You almost endangered so many people out there. If I sit down here and smoke a spliff, I get up, I go and heat up a piece of pizza, or I go make a sandwich, and I go and sleep. But because you bought your piece of land 25 years ago, you think, say, that piece of land is the same size it was before? You really think, say, it don't change? You really think, like, and I'm not trying to be mean, because it's not only that last caller. You see that mindset there? That mindset is throughout the whole voter system. I don't want to see you smoking no spliff, bobo. What's that?
Yeah, man.
Have a good day. I going back in sweat. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Enjoy the farming, man. All right, let's take the other call. Hey, welcome. Good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Come on, Mrs. Sterling. My boy was just reading my mind. Oh, boy. The lovely lady after my call, I have to give her a round of applause of what she had to say, because really and truly, I don't know how people feel. Now I have a little bit better understanding of how people feel about the situation, and if that's the case, I don't think that they are trying to help themselves by helping others. Yeah. When I am using my marijuana, I'm pretty sure this lady would love to meet me. I'm Alejandro Dominguez, by the way, if she wants to know, or if anybody else wants to know, right? I don't have no shame in that, right? I am a very helpful person. I would love to say that I am a good citizen. I follow the law. I try to be my best as a law-abiding citizen. But, like how they have some people that need that little edge. Like when you go to the bar after a long day's work and you don't want to really go home to listen to your wife nagging or your children crying, and, you just want to have a little alone time. Well, not even alone time, socially interact with people like-minded. Now, with alcohol, it's very accepted in the island. We all know it's legal. We have people that are doing it while they're at work. We have people doing it after work. We have people doing it on vacation. We have people doing it before they go sleep. We have people doing it as they wake up. All different ways of using alcohol. And the cigarettes. Now, we are fully acceptable that the cigarettes are written on the packet that is dangerous. Dangerous to smoke. Smoking kills. And all these things are fully acceptable. Not one study that shows that marijuana will do such things. Now, when I have a person that fellow Caymanian that thinks a majority of Caymanians, I would assume that think the same, that are like what he said, voters, like-minded, is how they think. That pushes an incentive, as if we are dangerous people. Now, I am a person that pretty disagreeable, I would say, but I do agree with some things. I mean, life is not nice if you don't agree with something, right? I agree that smoking marijuana might affect some people, but there's also family members that I know that I can say have had asthma for years, and then just took a little chance and smoked some marijuana, and ever since they haven't had episode or whatever they have when it has the asthma attacks or however they call it.
Mm-hmm.
Never after that. It's almost as if they reverse the effect. It's not even a cure, you know. It's a reverse effect. No, medicine, like what the doctors prescribe, supposed to fix problems. But you see, what happens now is when we take these chemicals in and they turn off light bulbs that telling us we have to check our oil, or you know, like when you get a car and then it has a check light when you go to the scanner and it tells you it's the oil, but can you wipe the light off? That does not fix the problem. The same thing with painkillers.
Yeah.
If you take painkillers, it only diverts the feeling and cut off that feeling, but it did not cure the headache. Why do you have a headache for? You have a headache maybe because you're thirsty. You know, you're taking a painkiller that prevents you from feeling this pain. Now you go get dehydrated. You see where it goes, Mr. Sterling? So,
Let me ask you that. I think it was the tourism minister that was spearheading now. Mr. Bryan, a petition and some referendum and the like. Do you know what's happening with that?
No, I was about to ask. This is the same thing, like, after I continued what I was going to say, but I want to talk about that part. Ever since the whole entire KMAS and the trash and all these type of things that we are worried about, I've noticed that we are all caring about fining people $500 for littering. And when you look at what the KMAS has done, they've littered the whole entire West Bay Road stretch, and nobody had taken responsibility for it. When I say that, no one has been held accountable for it and being fined for it because they were forgetful enough to send the email. Now, when you look at something as bad as that, and then when you say decriminalization of marijuana, when it's not even a crime to smoke marijuana, no, that kind of pushes a concern to me. When it's not a crime to smoke marijuana, it's actually a crime to import marijuana with the intent to supply, or, you know, go on with the same situation. What we're talking about is illegal. And if we legalize marijuana, Mr. Sterling, I think that we would have a better understanding of how we can improve the way that we put laws down for the marijuana users, just likewise with the alcohol users. Now, I don't want to be disrespectful to the lady that had called after me, right? She has a point. I do agree that maybe she might think that we are going to run around and smoking our ganja, but we're not going to be disrespectful people. If you ask me, sir, can you put out that spliff, or can you go around the corner because the smell is bothering me? I'm not going to go and tell her, you can't tell me what to do. You know, I'm not that idiot. Like, I assume they have a lot of people like that on the island as well, around the world as well, that are like that minded set, right? But people that are respectful for it, I think that we should be held a little bit better respect for that as well, and not look at as criminals that we are just going to be sitting around smoking ganja all day because we don't have nothing to do, and maybe because it's our preference, just like how you would like to drink coffee in your office desk and lose your memory because, you know, like I said, I am not against anything what anyone is doing. It's just the way they do it, not what you're doing. It's the way you do it. We have respect. A lot of people with ganja that smokes ganja, we collect a lot of things in our memories. We can remember what you said 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago. You know, Mr. Sterling, I remember when I started smoking ganja, and the first thing that someone was telling me, you know, ganja would make you skinny. That was the biggest concern. Mm-hmm. The biggest concern was ganja is going to make you skinny, and you're going to be still not malnourished. But then it's the opposite effect. Not everyone has that same effect. They have people that literally take care of themselves mentally, physically, you know, and to be happy. You know, our pursuit of happiness, it comes with a price. And if I have to purchase happiness and I cannot afford it, and I can find something else that I can afford to purchase for my happiness, wouldn't you do that?
So it makes you happy then, if I hear?
Very happy, sir.
And
very happy.
Given as you said that one of our listeners message and says, ask him how much money he spends on it. So since you said purchasing, is the expenditure on it expensive? I mean,
I'm not going to disclose how that is going to affect anybody from right or wrong.
I mean, we know that
if I going to go out and drink beer, ask me how much money do I spend a night when I go and drink.
Mm-hmm. It is certainly, from what we understand, smoking cigarettes is very, very, very expensive.
Very expensive.
Yeah.
With the cigarettes, right? Because the fact that the cigarettes is addictive is what makes it expensive. Because I can go with one small pack of cigarettes and make that last me all week. I can just smoke one cigarette a day. Maybe I might just edge it and go to 2 cigarettes a day, and then that would be a less expense from an avid smoker that literally just smokes cigarettes back to back. You know, they have chain smokers that would sit down on their flask of whiskey or their liquor, whatever of the choice, or beer, and then they'll smoke cigarettes till thy kingdom come, 2-3 packs at a time, and then they'll never smoke again for the rest of the day. It's all about moderation, and I think that when you sit down all day and do something, it's pretty worthless. But if you have a busy schedule and you find yourself one whole day or 2 whole days break from the whole entire week that you work, or for the month that you've been working, I think that you deserve that. Give yourself a pat on the back. You know, it's up to you what you want to do, and I don't think it's anybody to trump me what I can and cannot do.
Mm-hmm.
It's my human rights. If she has a problem with people smoking ganja, I think she needs to address it in an appropriate manner, because there's a lot of people out there that is willing to help, willing to talk. Maybe it's just the fact that out of sight, out of mind is our mindset.
You know, and as you have shared previously, you have a prescription for its use, right?
Yeah. And this is the thing. If you find that you don't need this prescription anymore, don't you have a right to come off of the prescription?
Yeah. All right.
And if you feel that it is continuing to work and you can source it out another way or some other how, don't you think that you have a right to do that? Just like if you can buy off-the-counter medication versus going to the doctor because you know exactly what you need.
Yeah. Well, we got some other calls. We're going to break, right? Someone's asking if it's legalized, if ganja is legalized, who will control the price of sale? Many questions, I guess. Yeah.
That's what they're worried about, Mr. Sterling. We don't have no consumer protection when they put $1.99 for a can of soda or $1.50 for a can of Pepsi. You don't see nobody complaining about that.
All right.
I don't think it's a big problem. Even if it becomes legal, that's none of my concern.
Mm-hmm. Appreciate your thoughts, right? Let us we're gonna pause and then come back to the other callers, right? Talk to you again, man. All right, stay tuned.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips. For all occasions and celebrations, let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
Hey, is your phone slow, overheating, and dropping important calls? Don't fret. This summer, it's time to flip out with Digicel. Introducing the all-new Samsung Flip 4 with its sleek design and cutting-edge features. You'll flip into the summer in style and confidence. This summer, you can grab the all-new Samsung Flip 4, all just for $145. Flip into the summer with Digicel. Visit a Digicel store near you and grab the all-new Samsung Flip 4 and the amazing 7-day Prime Ultra plan today.
The STEPS 2023 National Health Survey is now in full swing, and the Ministry of Health and Wellness would like to thank the community for their ongoing support of this endeavor. Participants who have completed Steps 1 and 2 of the survey are reminded to complete Step 3 by July the 31st. Any survey participant needing additional support or information can contact mhwsteps@gov.ky or call 936-4969.
You know you've dreamed of that Mercedes, the smooth leather, the style, luxury that feels so good. Ooh la la. With the prestigious 2023 Mercedes-Benz GLA 200 up for grabs in this year's Lions Club of Grand Cayman Benzorama fundraiser. This is your chance to make that dream come true. Tickets are $25 for one, 3 for $65, or 5 for $100. Benzorama fundraiser tickets are available with Lions Club members and various sales outlets. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman Benzorama fundraiser supports numerous community initiatives, include site screening, Christmas delivery, restoration, and social services.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. This summer, I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, and now Panama. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old gal this summer.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Hi, my AC just went out and I need someone to come fix it.
I'm sorry, we're closed.
Okay, what about tomorrow?
We're only open on Thursday. And we're fully booked.
Have anything next week?
No.
Okay, when can you send someone out?
The 22nd is open.
I'll take it.
Of December 2023.
With the best medical cover for your dollar, we're like an AC technician who isn't too busy for you. CG Britke. Good like that.
Talk today.
But I do have some questions.
Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back, and thanks for sharing with us as we go straight to the phones. Hey, welcome. Thank you for calling. Yes, hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hi, how are you?
I'm right here, and you?
Oh, and I'm looking at life and giving thanks and find out how I can make a more positive, meaningful contribution.
Yeah, he's a good listener, so you should be helping soon.
Talk to me.
A good listener is a good learner, you know.
Yeah, I believe so, yeah. So we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, right?
Yeah. I can't stand people when they're talking over me.
Yeah, they're competing for your time, huh?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my little contribution to ganja smoking. That's what you call it. Caymanians call it. Local Caymanians call it ganja smoking. Marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the situation with a lot of our locals that has been in the system, in the court system or whatever. Basically, it seemed to me, because I've seen it from time I was young, you know, I seen it. I had experience with it, my brother and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
They actually would use that against them, you know, from time they're young, and targeting them. And sometimes I used to look, my father used to say that they come in like they do this thing to get stripes, you know, like police getting stripes in high positions, and he used to say that they do that to destroy the locals, and most of the time it's the less fortunate and in society. And he said that they do that because he felt that they wanted to, like, take over, you know, because this was going on from a long time, you know. But it was our own local Caymanians also that was starting with or doing that. And then, you know, them years used to have, like, a lot of Bayesians and from people coming to Cayman. And if they didn't find anything on the youth, they would actually take them and take a urine test just to penalize them to get to them, you know. So that was more mentally destroying the youths more than I think was the ganja was doing, you know.
But you see, that's the thing. As I listened to you, looking at something that someone sent, and I did reference the misuse of drugs law. I think it was in '86, and understanding this part of the world and the push, the war on drugs, the drug czars that were being appointed, the events taking place in Central America, and maybe your father, being wise as he is, was onto something. Was it a conscious act? Was it just an unfortunate occurrence of us not thinking sufficiently far enough down the road? But many, of our young men were in prison, for smoking a joint, arrested by people, in their own jurisdictions, countries of birth, where it was almost a rite of passage to have a spliff.
Can you imagine having a child at a young age? Just say children can start smoking ganja or cigarettes or drinking alcohol at a tender age, unnecessarily like their parents haven't, because you haven't tried with them. You got some parents that wasn't as fortunate as some that they had people to take care of them while they go to work, all those things, because that brings the child at risk. But what can you do? A parent have to go to work. If they're not making a good enough salary to pay a helper, what you think, and if your workplace is not working with you, what you think happens, what you think will happen, that's what happens to a lot of at-risk children these days, because they're not facilitated, they don't have anywhere to go, like probably summer now. They have probably camps probably starting 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, finish 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the day. Well, how can I facilitate a child when the parent is leaving from home 4, 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning? Probably don't get home till 6 or 7 in the afternoon. If they go work overtime, they don't get off club until 6 or 7 in the night. By the time they get a bus, if they don't have their transportation, they probably get home probably 8, almost 9 o'clock at night. So who are going to attend to those children? Because a lot of times now, it's not family doesn't want to take care of the children either. Family doesn't want to take care of the children because they're looking money too. Because some family members don't have anything neither, But they don't want to take care of your children because they are looking you looking out there too by working, trying to get something to take care of your children, And even grandparents is looking money. Because grandparents need to live too. You understand what I'm saying? So it's very difficult for them to have a grandchildren. And if you have a grandchild or grandchildren, and the parent is not working and not giving what it's supposed to give for the grandchildren or grandchild, so that's another stream. Because when that child wants something to eat or something to drink, grandmother not got it, grandfather not got it. So, and don't think it's not happening today. Don't think it's not happening today, and the young people would take their money and go out there and have a good time with it. They don't care. They don't care a bit. You got some very, very young people in that kind of manner. You understand? But then what? Grandparents can close a blind eye to them because, sometimes I think grandparents love their grandchildren more than they had a love for their own children.
Mm-hmm.
But that's basically how some grandparents are. But what I'm saying is that you don't have a proper facility. Because I always say, what are the churches doing? What are they doing? They are locked up all the time. The windows is locked up and the doors is locked up all the time. And some of them have a fence, wall across and gates and all that. Like, come on, the church belongs to the community. Who money going in the cash fund? All kind of money goes in the cash fund, drug money, alcohol money, food money, all kind of money going in the cash fund, So don't think that they think that money that's going in the cash fund is clean. You understand? So what I'm saying is that money is for the community. That's to help fix up the church, help programs, education, Bible school, youth groups, in the basketball games, volleyball games, those type of stuff, that's what that money is for, helping out in the community of people that is sick or less fortunate. That's what that money is all for. And also that those churches and that money is the churches is to facilitate these young people. And you know how much churches alone in West Bay, every 4, 5, 6 Czech Republic gets a church. We got church Four-Way, we got church up at Town Hall, we got church down the corner here, we got church in that corner, churches all over, and they're all locked up. You understand? Why can't we have programs going on and you can have people volunteering during summertime? You even have the older, get the teenagers too, to bring them in to teach them and whatever, and provide little food and sandwiches and get sponsors and stuff like Foster's and Kirk's and all in places and bring food for the children. The children would be home in the streets during the summer and stuff and get mixed up into company and stuff and at risk and things like that.
Right, man.
I don't know why. You can't have a program like that starting from about 5 o'clock in the morning till 7, 8 o'clock at night.
You make excellent points. We do have the news. If you can share if you want more, but let us take the news, all right?
Follow Radio K-Man on Twitter. All the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Follow us at twitter.com/Radio K-Man.
Today's biggest news.
Radio K-Man, your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is headlines from Radio K-Man's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
Premier the Honourable Wayne Penton and MP Heather Bodden are hosting the Governor for a visit with the residents of Newlands and Savannah. The event is tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. at the Pedro St. James Courtyard. In international headlines, a gunman opened fire on terrified workers on a construction site in downtown Auckland early today, killing 2 people just hours before New Zealand hosted the first game of the Women's World Cup. The man was found dead, and authorities say his motive appeared to be connected to his previous work at the site. New Zealand Prime Minister Chris Hipkins said the shooting was an isolated act, and the FIFA tournament opened as scheduled, with a game between the home team and Norway, though with tighter security and many jarred in a country where such attacks are rare. A large crowd, including the Prime Minister, still showed up at the stadium, and a moment of silence was held for victims of the shooting, which also left a police officer and 4 civilians injured. Oklahoma executed a man today for stabbing a Tulsa woman to death with a butcher knife in 1995 after his escape from a prison work center. 51-year-old Jermaine Cannon received a lethal injection at 10:01 a.m. and was pronounced dead 12 minutes later at the Oklahoma State Penitentiary in McAllister. It was the second execution in Oklahoma this year and the 9th since the state resumed lethal injections in 2021. Cannon was convicted of killing 20-year-old Sharonda Clark, mother of 2, with whom Cannon had been living at an apartment in Tulsa after his escape weeks earlier from a prison work center in southwest Oklahoma. Those are your headlines. I'm April Cummings.
Today's biggest news.
Radio K-Man, your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is headlines from Radio K-Man's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
You know you've dreamed of that Mercedes, the smooth leather, the style, luxury that feels so good. Ooh la la. With the prestigious 2023 Mercedes-Benz GLA 200 up for grabs in this year's Lions Club of Grand Cayman Benzorama fundraiser. This is your chance to make that dream come true. Tickets are $25 for 1, 3 for $65, or 5 for $100. Benzorama fundraiser tickets are available with Lions Club members and various sales outlets. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman Benzorama fundraiser supports numerous community initiatives, includes site screening, Christmas delivery, restoration, and social services.
Talk today.
But I do have some questions.
Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back, and thanks for joining us, as we take, some more calls. Hey, welcome. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sterling. It's Johan Moxham. How are you doing, sir?
Mr. Johan Moxham. I am well, sir. How are you?
How's my second favourite talk show host doing today?
Your second favourite? Well, I didn't know that you were still friends with that other guy.
No, man, Auntie Sandy got you all beat every time, man. What's wrong with you?
Hey, listen, man. She operating in the on the new range, man. Good to her.
She's global. She's going global, son.
Sandy gone global, talk show style. She bad, man. She bad.
No, I'm calling you. I'm not sure. Always enjoy listening to your show. Not sure if you guys have hit this topic yet, but just want to preface it by saying,
Mm-hmm.
I gather that our Royal Cayman Islands Police Force is made up largely of Caymanians, whether it's multi-generational, new Caymanian, Cayman is a Caymanian. Whether you're born here, you get status, right? I just want to acknowledge and say that from the jump. But it always blows my mind whenever you see some of the glaring headlines and instances where members of the Royal Cayman Islands Police Force are investigated, charged, and then convicted for a variety of different offenses. But the recent headline is the ancillary officer who has been found guilty, and it's all over the press, so this is in the public domain.
Right.
So my question is, or my comment and then my question, we've always been told that we are too insular a society, so therefore it's imperative to have individuals from the outside come and be involved and in charge, for the want of a better word, of our police force and all the rest of it, because we're too, we're too familiar, too friendly, too many close relations, too much nepotism, so on and so forth. So that's why we need the foreign expertise of police officers from abroad.
Mm-hmm.
However, if you look back over the last 2 years, 3 years, and you look at the number of officers that have been investigated, charged, and convicted for a variety of different offenses, primarily corruption and abuse of office and all the rest of it, why isn't the conversation being had now? Well, hey, we need to take a real deep dive and look at this situation, because we've been told that we can't trust our own, so we got to get those from outside. Yet, many, many, many of the officers that are currently employed with the RCIPS would never be given an opportunity to be in law enforcement in their country of origin. Yet here, I guess you just got to know somebody or be from somewhere else and you get that chance. The case in point is there ever going to be an official audit of the RCIPS by an independent police agency or whoever's responsible for policing in the UK, so that we can understand whether our system is working? Because, again, I am not against the police, and I know that successive governments commit, budgetary-wise, a lot of funding to them. However, it does not fill me and many other members of the general public with any confidence when you see such blatant and frequent acts of corruption by police officers within the RCIPS. But to make matters worse, those persons aren't Caymanian. So how did they get the job? Did anybody not figure out that these people were perhaps so inclined? Because in Cayman, whenever a Caymanian does something wrong, well, you know how Caymanians are. There's always an insinuation that we're just too familiar with each other and all the rest of it. But again, I come back to the point of, as a paying general public, we should expect our police officers, our police force, police service, to have the highest standards of ethics, professionalism, and respect for the community and the people that they are responsible for keeping safe. But again, I come back to the point, there are too many people within the RCIPS that would never be employed as a police officer anywhere else except for the Cayman Islands. And to make matters worse, a lot of them are from outside of the Cayman Islands. So when and how and who will actually take responsibility now and go, hey, we need to really look at this thing, because a lot of money gets spent, but the headlines are jarring. I'm going to go back a couple of years. When you have drugs going missing from the secure lockup at Georgetown Central and nobody says anything, we don't know if they know who did it. We don't know if they reprimanded or sanctioned anybody that may have been involved, i.e. fired them. The general public don't know. But it's that silence and it's that if you ignore it, hopefully people won't pay attention to it. I pay attention, and there's thousands of other citizens that pay attention. And if we want to be taken seriously as a law-abiding first world country, then surely the instances of corruption, abuse of office, and the lack of respect for the people and lack of professionalism, surely that has to be addressed by the authorities, whether it be the commissioner, whoever is responsible for police relations, and of course the governor's office, because again, had that individual who's recently been found guilty been a local, that's a completely different conversation altogether. We have officers that come from abroad that are retired or nearing retirement, and they come here and they're given substantially different packages from the people that are born here, raised here, and actually have the respect of their community. So there's a double and triple standard that exists in a lot of the cases, and I understand we need foreign expertise in some situations, but there are rank and file police officers that should not have a badge, should not be in a position of authority, and should not be employed, because at the end of the day, they just don't have basic skills, they don't have basic respect for the people that they have come to this country and found here, and there's a complete lack of professionalism, but nothing is ever done. Going to the police standards unit is a waste of time. I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. But as somebody who loves my country, I'm a law-abiding citizen, and I've, watched too much go down now where I'm asking the question, who's policing the police? How do these people get employed? Background checks are one thing, but when somebody is prepared to allegedly, or no, he's been convicted now, be a messenger for some type of local bad guy or bad man, did we not know that was the sort of character and ethics that the individual had? And so how many others like that exist in the force? How many police officers have the general public encountered that are just blatantly rude and bullies because they have a badge, but they could never be a police back home, whether it be Jamaica, Barbados, Canada, England, name it, anywhere. And that's why I'm calling in, because this got to stop. Who's policing the police? What are the standards? How are we hiring these people? How are we allowing these people to get promoted and to continue to be employed in our Royal Cayman Islands police force? Because at some stage, something bad or worse is going to happen than what has been happening. And that's unacceptable at any level. It doesn't matter if you're from abroad or Caymanian, but it's especially vexing when those officers are not Caymanian. So I'm throwing that question out there, whether it's the governor's office, whether it's the police commissioner, whether it's, I don't know, the attorney general or somebody in the RCIPS. You can't expect people to trust you. You can't expect for people to have confidence in you and to help you solve cases when there's a, obviously, clear number of corrupt, inept, unprofessional officers within the RCIPS. So how are we going to fix this? We deserve better, because they get a lot of funding, and successive governments have ensured that the RCIPS get that funding. To the good officers out there, to the hard-working professional officers out there, to the ones that are born here, the ones that have come in and integrated and made Cayman their home and show the highest standards of ethics, professionalism, and care and concern for the community, I want to say thank you, because not everybody is the same. But when you start looking at certain things, we've got too many officers from particular jurisdictions whereby it's insular, and their way of policing and their way of doing things, corruption always seems to be part and parcel or a frequent occurrence. Now, you can't mark everybody with the same brush, but the questions about these that we know, and let's face it, the police themselves know who's a corrupt officer. And if the leadership and management don't know, then you're not doing your job. But we cannot, as a country, afford for these sort of headlines anymore, and for the public to be subjected to unprofessional, unethical, rude and insulting people who claim that they have power now because they got a badge. Because again, I make the point one more time, The vast majority of those individuals could not be police officers in the country that they were born or anywhere else. So why is it they're good enough to be police here in Cayman?
You know, one of our listeners says, you're making so much sense and requesting me to share your number with them.
926-0984.
All right, 926-0984. Johan, you know, Renard Johan Moxham, right?
Renard Johan Moxham. But listen, at the end of the day, why is it the politicians are quiet about this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? If you are representing the people, I ran in Georgetown North, okay? I've seen some stuff, okay? Throughout the islands, the politicians, whether you're in the government, in the cabinet or not, 19 elected officials should want the same thing, which is safety, security, peace of mind for property, your own person, and your business. So if they can't figure out that we can't afford situations like this, something's wrong, homeboy. We keep voting for the same people that don't give or don't say quaha about the important things in this country.
Yeah. Your contemporary Alejandro said you must make him know you're listening, but he's fully in agreement with you.
Appreciate that. Just want to throw that out there, and would love to hear your thoughts on that, sir.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, man. You know, I'm glad that you have the courage and the gumption, as the good folks would say, to speak it and call it as you see it.
Bro, I'm going to live and die here. My children are born and raised here.
Mm-hmm.
This is home for me. I'm not going nowhere else. So I'm not going to stand by and watch it become third and fourth world, and like some of the other places around the region that people have fled because crime, safety, and quality of life issues are a concern. Every Caymanian should be speaking their mind, because what are they going to do? They can't beat us. They can't arrest us. And if they do, you sue the hell out of them. But at the end of the day, those responsible for safety and security and making sure that this country has a pristine reputation as a safe place,
mm-hmm.
if they are not weeding out the corrupt, the inept, the unprofessional, and those that are just bullies with a badge, they are failing us, period.
Yeah. Someone's asking if you to please repeat your number as well, man.
926-0984. If you vote in Georgetown North, let me know. Sterling, if you need me back on the show to kill time, happy to come in and shoot the breeze with you and talk about these things. But, you know, we as voters, we as citizens, we need to expect more, demand more from the people that put themselves up to be our representatives and leaders. Here's my greatest concern. They will only... Crime is real in Cayman, and crime in certain pockets is okay. But the day serious crime hits certain neighborhoods, that's when everybody's going to care. But my question is, if somebody lives down in Rock Hole, in Swamp, is that any different or lesser than somebody that lives on the 7 Mile Strip or in Cayman Kai?
But
this is our home.
But have we passed a law that says that same criminal act that committed on, 7 Mile Beach will attract a higher sanction than a similar act?
That was proposed. I'm not sure it actually happened, but that was what...
Okay, well,
that was proposed, but I don't think it actually happened. But my point is this: a Caymanian is a Caymanian, and everybody that is here should expect the same level of treatment and concern from their representatives and from the law enforcement authorities.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter.
We all live and work here. We all should have a vested interest in that. But you say, quality of life, safety, security, civility, right?
Yes, sir. I just don't understand how we know certain jurisdictions have horrible reputation about, how they go about doing things, and there's been a lot of headlines, but yet when you look up at the makeup of the force, come on though.
Yeah. A listener is reminding us that, under the last police commissioner was there not an individual who was on wanted murder charges employed here within the gun section and then put on desk duty?
They could only get employed by the senior command. Somebody senior in the force would have had to sign off on that. The average HR manager, there's no way in the world average HR manager could have said, yeah, let's go with that. So all I'm saying is let's hold people accountable, because This thing is getting out of hand. And again, what really vexes me is it'll only matter when it happens in certain neighborhoods, and that's not right. That's not fair. Everybody should expect the same level of service and to be safe in their own homes and to deal with police officers that aren't.
I'll send you an invite again to come keep my company on. You can tell me if it works for you. All right?
All right. Well, I just don't want to get you fired, but yeah.
Well, fired may just be an extended vacation. I don't know. I kid you not. I'm just listening, man, facilitating. You do the talking. All right?
All right, sir.
Talk to you, sir.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, 2 more calls, Mr. Paul. Hey, welcome. Good afternoon. Nope. He's here. Break. Boy, you see, when you wear a badge, only they have the power. All right, you take the mic from me. We'll check you after. Stay tuned.
It's a 24-karat summer with Digicel. In honor of our first truly COVID-free summer, Digicel is giving away $24,000. Be one of 10 to win $2,400 this July. For a chance to win, all you have to do is switch to Digicel, activate a Prime bundle, or simply pay your bill on time. It's that easy. It takes 2 minutes to get $2,400 richer. Make the choice to win today and visit a Digicel store near you.
Freedom, Cayman Brack. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Tuesdays were made for tacos, so let's celebrate Taco Tuesdays at Simboco. $4 tacos, margaritas for $5, and $4 beers. Enjoy delicious cilantro lime chicken, Escovitch-style fish, or braised beef tacos. Add any side for an additional $4. Choose from Mexican rice, chili fries, cassava fries, or plantain. Simboco, a Caribbean cafe with 2 locations: Marquee Plaza, 7 Mile Beach, and Country Corner Plaza, Hearst Road, Savannah. For both locations, call 947-2782.
The best foundation you can wear is glowing, healthy skin. The offices of dermatologist Dr. Dwayne Porter specialize in enhancing your skin's well-being. Whether you're seeking advanced skincare, including any skin cancers, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email drporterkman@gmail.com or call 946-9020. That is 946-9020.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. And this will probably be our final call. Thanks all for listening. Hey, welcome. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hey, how are you? How are you, my friend?
Not bad.
Good to hear from you always, man.
Thank you. I was listening to the last caller about what's wrong with the society. Those things are symptomatic. They're the symptoms. They're of the core issue. And the core issue is that we have a system that is designed for our rights and to be secondary. And that's stated explicitly in the UK's Constitution Order for the Cayman Islands. And basically it says in 31.3 that when the governor is carrying out his or her responsibilities, that he or she shall endeavor to look out for the interests of the Cayman Islands, so long as those interests are consistent with the interests of the United Kingdom. And so they're telling us in black and white that their interest comes first, not our interest. Now, that is in there despite the fact that when you read Article 73 of the UN Charter, it says that the interests of the respective territories, and it's referring to those that remain under British rule. But it's talking about all of them, but I'll just refer to those that are under the UK. That the interests of the people in the respective territories is paramount. Okay, that's the language in the convention. Yet the UK legislated the opposite of that in the Cayman Islands, in saying that our interests will only be done if it is in the interest of the UK. And what the problem is that we as a people are unwilling to have the courage to demand that we be treated properly. And so we live in a system that these are not our systems, okay? The governor of the Cayman Islands we can't do anything to remove the governor. The governor is the governor, whether we like it or not. He's all powerful, or she is all powerful now. So if the governor is not our governor, the commissioner of police is not our commissioner of police, the police service is not our police service, it's their service for us. And that's why there wouldn't be an organization here in the Cayman Islands that would look at the police and talk about what would need to be changed. So it would be something that would be determined by the UK. And what that would mean is the UK would look at the relationship between us and them, and they would say, well, constitutionally, the UK's interest comes first, and they will rule in accordance with that view, not what would be best for us, would be what would be best for them. And so we see how the fact that we are a colony shapes us as a people, and I believe so very negatively, despite what some might think, oh, we're better off than Jamaica. That's nonsense. We are being destroyed by being cultured to put other people's interests before our own. And I don't believe in the long run that's going to be healthy or productive for us as a people. And so when you're trying to shape these institutions and ask about accountability, pretty soon we're going to have a Caymanian who will be the commissioner of police. But will the commissioner of police be able to do things the way he feels that things should be done? Only to an extent, because the commissioner of police has a boss, and that boss didn't change, even though the commissioner of police is going to change. And it's that those kind of structures that are a step removed from the people that causes people not to see the real hand that's controlling things and making things happen. The purpose for having a colony is so that you can extract wealth from it. And that's what's happening. It's happening in people come here, they get educated by the local government, and they leave with that education. And on and on and on. And what I'm trying to say here is this, is that we as a people are failing to have the courage to stand up for ourselves and to demand that things be done properly. If we sit quietly by and watch, like the example that the previous caller gave, how could you have the police station broken into, have drugs go missing, and we hear nothing? How does that happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
We are the ones who are going to hold the government accountable. this idea that you vote somebody in and they are going to, do what is right. That's the theory. They should do what is right. But what the real question is to understand how we get accountability. Yes, it would be nice if we had a better group of politicians that could be trusted to do the right thing. But what we have to understand is that in the event that you don't have the best politicians that you can trust, the question is, do we have the courage to hold them accountable? And if you feel that you're going to lose your job, you're going to lose your pension, you're going to lose your child's scholarship if you speak up against a politician, I can assure you, you will not hold the government accountable. And the failure to hold the government accountable is going to mean a continuation of the same.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not as much about what the politicians are doing, although that is important. It is equally important is what are we going to do if the politicians don't do what they ought to do.
The citizens in
That's
particular.
where we as citizens fail.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That accountability, that involvement, and the like. Yeah.
Yeah. And he said that crime is taking place in certain areas, and it's not going to matter until it reaches other areas. Well, that's true to an extent. That's what will happen, but already what's actually happening is that people are not willing to participate in certain aspects of civil society right now because they've been marginalized. And so what that means is because people feel are left out in certain ways, they're not going to help you because they feel wronged. And nobody was there to help them. I'm not saying that's the right way to look at it. I'm just acknowledging how some people think.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't help me when I needed help. I'm not going to help you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think like that. I don't think people should think like that. But unfortunately,
some do.
Some do.
Mm-hmm. Always appreciate it.
So I mean, I hope that if there is one thing that we can take from this conversation today, is that we know what the problems are. The question is, what are we going to do about it? Because at the end of the day, that's all that's going to matter.
I mean, as I listen to you, I'm always intrigued by your perspective. I always encourage that you're willing to think and share, something from a considered, opinion. Hopefully, as you have shared, others will be equally encouraged to have courage to stand and speak and do right. What is it that we're reminded of? Some have said, Malcolm X himself shared it. If a man doesn't stand for something, he'll fall for anything, right? So in our society, the failure, the unwillingness, the fear to speak out, to question, to even,
Let me give you an example.
Mm-hmm.
When Christ was about to be crucified,
Mm-hmm.
Peter said to him that he wasn't going to desert him.
Mm-hmm.
And Jesus looked at him and said, Peter, before the sun set, you could deny that you even knew me 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Before the crow crows,
Of course, he said, well, no. But you see, what I'm trying to get across is that there's no difference between Peter back then and somebody here today. It takes the same amount of courage to deal with issues.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like if we were all back in Christ's time, we would do the same things that's recorded in the Bible that was done because of the frailty of mankind. And it's not required to be some extraordinary person in order to do extraordinary things. As the saying goes, extraordinary things is done by ordinary people.
Mm-hmm.
And so we all have the opportunity to do that which is right for the benefit of society.
Yeah, man. Hey, thank you very much, all right?
Take care.
have a wonderful, safe, and enjoyable afternoon and the rest of the week as well. And to all our listeners, thank you for sharing. If this is where you call home, if this is where your bread is buttered, if this is where for now, you think you want to lay your head, maybe we might find it as incumbent upon you to make this place safer, stable, politically, economically, and socially. Understanding that if we turn a blind eye to, egregious behavior, duplicity, and complicity, maybe we ourselves are as guilty as the offender. They said evil prevails when good men do nothing. A friend shared something that was very insightful. It says, kindness in words creates confidence. Kindness in thinking creates profoundness. And kindness in giving creates love. And maybe that's where, we're lacking. Lyrics of Third World talked about in the world is a little bit more love. And maybe we don't have that agape love. Maybe we fail in thinking that the love can also mean admonishing, punishing, chastising, correcting, guiding, directing, people when they go astray. We hold those, in authority accountable. If we live in a democracy, we exercise our votes, and we do so, not casually. We do so confidently, we do so willingly, and we do so with a presence of mind that says, we're not just voting for our friend, our neighbor, the person with a good smile, or, that charisma and charm. But we're doing so because we're willing to draw alongside that person to work for the betterment of this country. Woe be unto us if we are indeed the reason for the next generation's unanswered prayers. Join us tomorrow for more Talk Today right after the midday news. I'm hoping, for the young chap, to be able to join us. It's always good when you see children raised by parents who give them a great example to follow, and they take up the mantle and recognize that they exercise their intellect. They put together, a framework that allows them to excel, but they see the benefit in giving as they receive. So hopefully Mr. Philip Richter will come in and join us if his schedule allows. But please join Mr. Art in the morning for the record. Wonderful opportunity to be informed and engaged, to listen and to learn. The man has a wealth of knowledge. He has served in our public service, and has gained vast experience. And now we can benefit from that and be inspired, by the knowledge that even after we formally step aside from our careers, we can still continue to make invaluable contributions to our society. Until tomorrow, my friends, be blessed.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network.